Hello and welcome. I'm Sarah from Handmade After Dark. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Australia, and welcome to day 3 of my mini catalogue launch. So I'm doing 4 days of mini catalogue videos. So each day I will take you through one of the bundles or suites from the new January to April mini catalogue, and take you through one project, and then show you either sneak peek from an upcoming weekly class using that same bundle or suite, or a different suite from the mini, or the online exclusives. So there's also a new lot of online exclusives that have launched at the same time, so I will be showing a bit of both. So today's video is the Easter Joy suite. So I will switch my camera around. So this is the suite from the mini. So you've got the stamp and die bundle, which I've got over here. So we've got a bit more of a close-up. So you've got a couple little bunnies, the flowers, Easter egg, little chick, carrot, a few sentiments, and then you've also got the die cut. So you've got a little basket. These little strips are for the basket. So when you die cut the basket, it will cut little slits, and you can weave the strips through the basket. And then you've got the rabbits, basically all the images from the stamp set, and you've also got a little grass image and a little banner. So, and I'll show you the basket. Don't know how well you can see that, but so if you look at the basket there, and you can see the blue going through, that's weaved through. That's those little strips that have been weaved through. And there's another one with multicolored strips. So the suite also has some specialty paper, and there is also, there's the specialty designer series paper, and then there's 2 lots. So this one is the main, or the larger one. So just open this back up, and so it's once I get it out, there we go. So you've got, this is actually quite thick, this paper. So it's a foiled design on one side, and then regular non-foiled on the other side. But it's actually quite a thick paper. So if you wanted to make bags, boxes, that sort of thing from this paper, this is probably a good one, because it is a lot sturdier. So you've got that one, you've got these stripes. So the stripy side is the foiled side, so I think you can probably see sort of the shimmer there from the foil. And then you've got the non-foiled image there. And what else have we got? So this nice bright colourful one. So again, this is the foiled one, and then the non-foil. And what else? So this one, so you got the pattern side on the back. This side, you can cut each of these, so you've got little sort of pre-designed sort of background or scenery images. So some of these are sideways. So this is the foiled one, and then so there's 2 of each of these, and then we have this one which is foiled on that side, and then more muted design on the other side, and I think, oh, one more. The Easter eggs. This is the shiny foily side, and then the crumb cake on the back. So nice, thick, strong specialty paper. And once I get this off my catalogue, and then we also have another specialty pack. So this one just has 6 sheets, and I haven't actually used this one yet. So these ones are single-sided. So you have this one, so you get, I think it's, is it 2? Yeah, 2 of each. And so these are foiled again. So there is that one, there is the floral one, which I think this one is, yeah, Pretty in Pink, Peach Pie for that first one, and then Shy Shamrock for this last one. So I am looking forward to using those. And again, this is really thick, strong paper. So really good for bags and boxes, 3D items, anything that, you know, needs something with a bit more structure, a bit sturdier. That's a really good option. Now there is also the Balmy Blue gingham ribbon. I think it's Balmy Blue. Let me double check. Where is it? Yes, Balmy Blue. So there is that. I have the embellishments here. So Lemon Lolly, Balmy Blue, and Pretty in Pink. So these bottom ones are little Easter eggs, and then these two are just little dots. So these are nice and flat, so really good if you're, for posting, because it's not too much dimension to it, which is quite handy. And so that is it for the bundle, but I will show you the next page. So there's the basket. So 2 of the baskets die cut and then turned into a little 3D basket. And then these ones have used those sort of pre-designed background scenery pieces. So that is the suite. I think that, yes, that is it for that. So for the project, we are using Shy Shamrock as the base, and then so I've pre-cut some pieces to save a bit of time. Got the embossed cardstock. That's a spell. So this is one of the new embossing folders. So you've got the little flowers and then the dots alternating. I don't know how well you can see that on the camera, but hopefully you can get a good enough view. And then I have die cut some of the DSP. Now, to show you what I did with this one, so I die cut this with the Party Banners dies, but I didn't want the usual banner shape like that. So all I did is I got my strip and I just flipped this around and die cut basically just the very end of my piece. So I just lined it up so that that point was as close to the edge as I could get and just die cut that first bit so that I ended up with that shape. Alrighty, so stylish shapes circle for the Shy Shamrock, punched circle for that. Now, and I've just remembered I need some of my stamps. Oh, actually, I have used, that reminds me, I actually used I needed a different stamp. I had exactly the one I needed in the Darling Dinos, just this little grass image. So let's do that bit first. Now I will be sending out tutorials for all of these projects in my email newsletter. So if you're not already on my email list, head over to my blog at handmadeafterdark.com.au, sign up to my email list, and then you'll get all of the tutorials from my catalogue launch. I've also got a birthday bonanza series coming up soon. You will get tutorials for all 6 of those projects as well, and my Funfold Friday and Thursday Tech series, I send recipe cards for those projects, and then various other tutorials and project recipes throughout the year. Now we need a blending brush. I think that one will, yep, that will do. And then, so I've got the little grass image from my Darling Dinos set, but you could use, whatever you've got. You don't even have to have the stamped image. You could use just your Stampin' Blends and just draw it yourself rather than stamping. So all I'm going to do is just on this circle, I'm just going to randomly stamp the grassed image all over. That should be enough, and then I'm going to come in with a blending brush. Now for this one, rather than the usual circular motion, I'm actually just going to tap, because it kind of gives, make sure you tap off first, but I found that for this, just tapping kind of gives it a little bit more texture, which is kind of what I wanted for this one. And it doesn't need to be perfect, just all over. Some bits will be darker, some lighter. That's what you want. We're not trying to get a perfectly smooth blended image. We just want decent coverage, and that looks fine. But just make sure you do still tap off before you start, so that you don't get sort of extra thick or extra dark bits of ink on your cardstock. If you do, just flip it over and start again on the other side if you can't make it work. But you can always just make that section darker, or if it's the section that is going to be covered by the bunny rabbit, then it doesn't matter. Alrighty, now we need to, and I'm going to flip that over so I don't get any garden green on my little bunny. So, crumb cake. Now, if you have seen yesterday's video, you would have heard me talking about whether you want to go light and then dark, or and then light again, or dark and then light, depending on personal preference, but also depending on how dark you want your image overall. So this is one where I don't want it to be too dark overall, so I'm going to start with the dark and add my sort of highlights first, and then go over with my light and blend it in, just so I'm not adding too many layers of the light and making it darker than I ideally want overall. So I'm just going to blend those in. So I'm just using crumb cake for the body, and then I will use Pretty in Pink for the nose and the center of the ears, and also the flower. Now I'm just going to come back over a little bit just to blend in a bit more in the sections that are not quite as blended as I want. You do need to give it a little bit of time, so once you've sort of gone over it initially, leave it, go on to the the next section, or the next step in your project, and then come back, see how it's looking, and then decide whether you need to add more, blend more, or if it's fine as it is. So I think that should be plenty. It's probably a little darker than I ideally wanted, but it will, once it's sort of settled a bit more, it'll end up a little bit lighter, so it's not too dark, and it will be fine. It doesn't have to be super light. So light, Pretty in Pink. And then do that, put that one to the side, and come back in to my flowers. Not too worried about the centers, because I am going to be covering those with a gem at the end anyway, so that will be fine. Just want to color the flowers. And then for the leaves, I used Jan-Apr Green, and I'm just going to, no, actually I do want the dark, just because I'm only going to be adding the one layer. Go. Alrighty, now we can start putting this together. It's fairly straightforward. Now, because this is embossed, I'm going to use my liquid glue because it helps, the glue gets into all the little nooks and crannies, so it does help it to adhere a little better. Plus you get that little bit extra wriggle room. Alrighty, then we will add this one, and again I'm going to use the liquid glue, partly because it's right here. And this is, plus it's, you know, I'm sticking it onto an embossed surface, so it helps it to stick better, and it's a very thick cardstock or specialty paper. It's it is much thicker than our usual papers. And okay, now that is down, we can add the next few pieces. So we're going to adhere these two together, and I will use the liquid glue for this one just so I can adjust if I need to, if I don't get it quite where I want it. So that's going in the center there, and then we'll adhere that to the front. So about halfway down, roughly halfway down the banner. And make sure that is well stuck down, and then all we need to do, add some dimensionals to both the bunny and the flowers. Oops, and one more for that one, and then these ones. One more. So the bunny is going to sit in the middle of the circles. Once we get all the backings off, so bunny's going to sit back there, and then get all these backings off, and we're just going to pop these down the bottom here. Then all we need to do is add some embellishment. So I'm using the 2024 to 2026 in color flat pearls. So these are quite flat, not completely flat, but a lot lower than many of the other embellishments that we have. So these are really good if you need to post your card, because it won't poke up through the envelope as much, and also keeps the size of the or the thickness of the envelope down, and then we'll add some to the flower, and that is that one done. Now, I am going to be using this suite in a class, in a weekly class coming up, but I don't have those projects designed yet. But I can give you a sneak peek from another bundle or another suite from the Mini. So this is the Nature Walk suite. So I've got a few cards from that. So this paper is from the suite, and the die cut is from the bundle, and the embellishments are also from the suite. So there is that one, and then I have this one. So you might be able to see, because it's very faint, intentionally, the sort of textured background stamp, 2 lots of the designer series paper from the suite, the embellishments, and also that same die cut, and the sentiment on both is from the bundle as well. And then the final one, once I get it out, is this one. So the designer series paper, not sure how well you can see, but this is a textured specialty paper, which is part of the suite. So not sure how well you can see the texture in the video, but hopefully you can see a little bit. So there's that, the die cut, and I've die cut this one. Some of it is from two-tone cardstock, but this one here is actually from the designer series paper. The sentiment is the same as the first one, so just the thank you sentiment, and then I've just heat embossed that. So that is those. So that is an upcoming class that'll be in a few weeks' time. And then this is the Easter one from today. Alrighty. So that is it for today. Remember, if you sign up to my email list, you'll get the tutorial for the card that I made today, as well as the other cards that I've made throughout this catalogue launch, and also the Birthday Bonanza series that is coming up later this month. If you're watching this on YouTube, please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps me out, and I do appreciate it. So thank you very much. And until next time, happy crafting. Bye.